At my father's funeral, my grandmother revealed a secret that destroyed my entire family. I thought the worst day of my life was my father's funeral. I was wrong. The worst day was what happened after. My father, Richard, was loved by everyone. He was the successful one in the family, the generous one, the man who paid everyone's bills. My uncle's failed businesses, Dad paid for them. My cousin's college, Dad paid for it. My grandparents' house, Dad bought it. When he died suddenly from a heart attack, the entire family cried. At least that's what I thought. 3 days after the funeral, we gathered for the reading of his will. My mother sat beside me. My younger brother looked devastated. The room was silent. Then my grandmother stood up. She was 83 years old, frail, quiet, the last person anyone expected to speak. But when she opened her mouth, the room froze. I can't let Richard be buried with this secret. Everyone exchanged confused looks. My uncle laughed nervously. Mom, not now. But she ignored him. Instead, she pointed directly at my uncle. Then she said 7 words that changed everything. Richard was never my oldest son. Silence. Absolute silence. I thought she was confused. Maybe grief had affected her memory. Then she continued. Richard was adopted. The room exploded. My mother nearly fainted. My brother stood up. I couldn't breathe. Adopted? What was she talking about? Grandma started crying. She revealed that 50 years earlier, she had secretly adopted my father after a tragic accident killed his biological parents. Only 4 people knew. Her, Grandpa, a lawyer, and my uncle. My father never found out. Never. He spent his entire life believing he belonged to that family. My uncle suddenly jumped up. Enough! But Grandma wasn't finished. Because the adoption wasn't the real secret. The real secret was worse, much worse. She looked directly at my mother, then said, Tell them why Richard never knew. Mom's face turned white. The lawyer looked shocked. And suddenly I realized something. Everyone older than me seemed terrified. Mom began crying. Then she confessed. Years ago, my father accidentally discovered papers suggesting he might be adopted. He confronted the family, demanded answers. My uncle convinced everyone to hide the truth. Why? Because my father was rich. Because if he discovered the truth, he might leave. And everyone depended on him financially. The room turned ugly. Fast, my cousins started screaming. My aunt denied everything. My uncle called everyone liars. Then Grandma pulled out an old envelope. Inside were letters, dozens of them, written by my father. Letters he had sent after becoming suspicious. Letters begging for honesty. Letters asking if he truly belonged. And every single one had been hidden. By my uncle, for 20 years. My father died believing his own family loved him, when in reality they'd been manipulating him, using him, lying to him. The lawyer wasn't finished either, because there was one final surprise. Dad had changed his will 6 months before his death. Nobody knew. Apparently he had discovered evidence of financial theft. Someone had been stealing from him, over several years, millions of dollars. Guess who? My uncle. The same man who insisted on hiding the adoption.